Guess who's back? Back again.
I told myself that I wasn't going to do this again, but here we are. I'm going to read for the next 24 hours straight. Let's do it. Book number 1 to start this challenge. I'm actually so excited. I cannot tell you the last time I've felt like making this video and being excited about it, but we have quite a few books that I've downloaded on my Kindle and that you guys have been recommending me. I'm feeling very inspired, like I'm gonna really love my reading. So let's go through our options of kind of what I'm feeling. 1, I've been getting books talking about excessive yearning. I am looking for that actually. I didn't know what I was looking for and now I do. That's a theme. I'm also kind of in a fantasy era of wanting to read fantasy. A fantasy with some good yearning, I wouldn't complain. So here are the books that I have on my Kindle. Here she is, that are on my radar right now. One for My Enemy. This happens to be on Kindle Unlimited. I do have a physical copy of this, but I don't have my books with me. Wild Dark Shore. This book will bury me. Same author as In My Dreams I Hold a Knife. I'm also feeling in a thriller horror mood, so I have that one and That's Not My Name. This book's also on Kindle Unlimited, and I actually got this recommended to me as well. The Rose Bargain. I actually saw this one when the author made a TikTok about it months ago, and I have it saved from months ago, and it's said to be inspired by the song Ivy. I could float over to a romance in between some of these books, if I just wanted a nice palette cleanser, and a nice palette cleanser that I have on my Kindle, which is also Kindle Unlimited, is Delicate Escape by Catherine Cowles. The question is, what book do I want to read to start this video? Randomly, I want to read Wild Dark Shore. Oh, we're starting it. We officially have 24 hours to read. For the next 24 hours, this is what I'm going to dedicate my life to doing. Start with Wild Dark Shore. Over 2 hours down off of the time, and I have gotten to the 40% mark of Wild Dark Shore. It takes place on this atmospheric, basically deserted island, and it is this family of this father and his 3 kids, and basically one day this woman washes up on shore and she's almost dead, and they basically help her, and that's all I'll say, because honestly, I went in very blind and I did not know. All I knew was the information that I just gave you. It almost feels, even though it's not, but the feel of it feels like a post-apocalyptic feel to it, where it almost feels like, since they are so cut off and isolated from the rest of the world, it feels as if the rest of the world does not exist. You really only see these characters interacting with each other, and there are mentions of other people and civility outside of where they're at, but you don't see it as the reader. You are just seeing these characters interact with each other in their daily routines, things that they do, but also how deeply layered these characters are. Some little hints into every single character that you see within the story and how they do have a life, but they're almost such an oddity to start reading about, knowing nothing about them. It just feels like they are unnatural within themselves. There's things that are being alluded to throughout the story that you're just a little bit trying to comb through everything. As I said, it's such an atmospheric book. It talks a lot about their setting, plants, seeds is a big thing around them, animals, and describing this island, or describing in great detail of for example, what the dad is doing and his routine, and how he's fixing this and this thing and this thing. And it's so descriptive, but within those descriptions there are little things that are little specks of information that they let slip through the crack. It's just a very interesting read to kind of, as you're reading this very atmospheric lyrical writing, you're also getting little bits of pieces of information of each character, and it's this puzzle that you're trying to put together. So that's been very interesting to try to get through. I will say I am enjoying it. I have not even turned on anything to listen to in the background. I have been sitting in complete silence for the past 2 hours on my floor just reading this book. However, I am going to take a pause from this book because I'm about to go to the gym. While I'm at the gym, I'm going to switch over to an audiobook. I actually have 2 audiobooks on Audible right now. One of them, I'm halfway through the Let Them theory, and I guess like the Let Them theory can be very motivating while you're working out. I'm going to head to the gym. I'm going to listen to the Let Them theory because like I said, I'm halfway through that book. So I think I'm going to try to, within this challenge, finish that audiobook because I really am liking the Let Them theory and it has changed my life. I'm not a self-help book audiobook person, but we can talk about that later. Hello guys, I am now back from the gym. I am here to update you guys that I have finished the first book in today's video. I am about like 4 hours in. We're literally about to see the clock tick down to just 20 hours left. Just 20 hours. I actually finished the audiobook for the Let Them theory, finally. I listened to the first half of it on a road trip and then I was slowly like listening to little bits of it and then I finished it today while I drove to the gym, was at the gym, drove back home and took a shower and everything. I don't rate nonfiction books because I don't really find a reason to, because with nonfiction it's either somebody's life or if it's like a self-help book. I don't know, I just never really rated nonfiction. I will say that this book did change my thinking and it changed the way that I went moving forward, even though it's not a very original concept, if you want to say that. Like Let Them is not a new thing. Like that's like one of the things that like my parents would say to me if I would come home talking about something that bothered me that happened to me. They'd be like, just let them. But for some reason, the way that Mel Robbins is able to take it and apply it to very like niche scenarios in your life, it also really kind of led to some self-realization, which never happens to me with self-help book, is the whole entire thought process behind like people saying negative things about you, people not liking you, and how essentially the control factor that comes with that and why it may bother you so badly. In that specific one that she was talking about, it really helped me with the whole entire like, people are going to talk bad about you, just let them and let you, because the whole entire thing about the Let Them theory is like let them, but the big thing of it is let me. So the thing that I've been trying to apply to my life is like let them, but let me kind of deal with this in a healthy way. And it was talking about like friendships, relationships, adult relationships, like dealing with fellow adults and like let adults be adults, stop trying to control people. It's actually quite powerful just the way that she was able to break it down, and I feel like in a very understandable way that really got through to my brain. I'm not a self-help book person, really. This is the first self-help book type of book that I've ever read that it actually changed ways of my thinking. I kid you not, I started this audiobook probably like 2.5, 3 weeks ago, and oh hi, hello. Ever since then, like even if I find myself like talking about something that's bothering me that again I'm not in control of, if somebody is acting a certain way towards me or saying something about me or has left a mean comment or something judgmental that's kind of making me spiral a little bit, if I'm talking to somebody or if I'm even talking to myself, I've been very quick to be like, you know what? I can't control that they said that, but I can control how I take that and how I react to it and if I let that affect me or not. And it's just crazy. This is like the first time that it's ever, you know, worked. So I finished that up. It was a really good read. I really liked it. So I would recommend if that is something that you feel like could appeal to you and appeal to your thinking, because also the thing about self-help books like Atomic Habits and like all of those books you see, this is just kind of, I feel like the new Atomic Habits, honestly, what you see like on social media. I feel like the thing about it is it's like not everything can be applied to everybody. So if you feel like that would apply to your thinking and kind of the way that you emotionally deal with things, I would recommend it. 4 hours in to the challenge and I have 1 book down. So now I'm gonna go back over to Wild Dark Shore. just emotionally destroyed me. I don't know how many hours it's been by this point, but I have 16 hours, 28 minutes left. Book number 2 for this video finished, Wild Dark Shore. Wow, I have to say, obviously I went into it not knowing anything, and I feel like that's the best way to go into this specific book. While it is like a mystery book, because I wouldn't call it a thriller, definitely doesn't have this like thrilling aspect to it. It's a mystery. There's this mystery that you're trying to figure out, but in the same way you also are just living through this mundane life that they live on this island, and kind of there's this time frame that you're introduced to in the book of like kind of counting down to this one thing. In the last like 20% of the book, all of a sudden it's just like this, like the ball is rolling and you're just like, what is going on? The book has worked up and built up to all of these different things, like even different factors that go into it, like different things about the characters and their personalities and how that adds into the book, and different things even about the work that they do there, and it all comes full circle. I don't think there was a single stone unturned. Literally, as I'm reading and finishing the book, I was like, wow, like the author really came back to every single thing that was mentioned in the book and made sure that it all tied together in the end, which I feel like sometimes this even happens with like mystery and thrillers where authors don't do that, but with this one, she did it, and it's such a deeply emotional book. Like there are so many, like I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. There are so many deeply emotional moments. I am still in disbelief. Like, here's the thing. I'm telling you guys that I finished the book. Obviously, I'm going to save all of the ratings and like full length reviews for the end of the video. But I genuinely need some time after finishing that book. Like, I need some time. That just ruined me. Well, I have to somehow move on. So let's see what I'm in the mood for now. Honestly, even though I really enjoyed that book, it was a pretty long read for me. I feel like the monotony of the descriptions, even though I really liked them, it did make the book a little bit of a slower read to me. Anyway, I want something a little less devastating, because that one was kind of like a very emotionally heavy as well. There were a lot of things where the book just kind of felt a little sad, and just how like isolating that scenery was. I definitely need something that's a little bit more like not going to make me feel like that. Do I go into a palate cleanser, which I kind of feel like I need? Honestly, after that book, like I feel like that book was just so heavy in so many ways, but also so healing. See, I can't move on from the book right now. I feel like we need a palate cleanser, so I think I'm gonna go into a Delicate Escape. Hey guys, I am halfway through Delicate Escape. Delicate Escape, is that what this book is called? I have like 13 hours, 14 minutes left of this challenge. With the Sparrow Falls series and just like these types of books in general, but just like specifically with this series, like they're so predictable. Like they give Hallmark in a way. I kind of inevitably do this specifically with romance books, but majority of the books that I read, I can't picture what they would look like in real life. Like, I don't know, they're not like cartoonified, but I don't know, like I can't picture them as real people. I try very hard to, but for some reason I can imagine how this would play out in a movie. I'm like imagining if this was a movie, and the acting in my head can't be anything other than like a Hallmark style. Maybe I should say Lifetime movie, because if y'all have watched a Lifetime movie, Lifetime movies get dangerous and messy very quickly. In these books, you're kind of dealing with both those things, where there's like trauma, there's drama, there's romance. So I guess I should compare it more to a Lifetime movie. The romance is so cheesy. Like when we're actually in it, it's like so predictable, and it's like the most cliche things that they're saying to each other. Like this is like, but why do I eat it up? Like I'm literally over here like, like yeah, I'm eating this up. And the mysterious element to them, like there's like something going on in somebody's life, or like there's something that's happened, and then they're kind of like unpacking this together, and like all of the friend group, because it's like found family-esque, where like all of the characters are interconnected. It's a good time. It's a good time. It's giving me that palate cleanser that I needed. However, I will say multiple times as I've been reading this book, I have been thinking about Wild Dark Shore. Like, I just can't stop thinking about that book. I'm not even joking. It was so good. I cannot stop thinking about it. Anyway, I'm going to continue on with this book because it's getting good. I'm halfway through it. Having a good time. Going to continue reading. Hello. I did go to sleep last night. 4 hours and 40 minutes left. I did finish Delicate Escape last night before I went to bed, and I actually started That's Not My Name. I don't think you guys can see. So I have 3 books down, starting a 4th, but I don't think I'm going to continue this one because I wasn't loving it, honestly. Honestly, I'm randomly in the mood for something easy on my brain. It might be because I literally just woke up. I do have Summer in the City, so I might start that one. Oh, this is 24-hour readathon. Oh, my hair, I need to rebraid it. I look crazy. I need to take a shower, actually. But I think I'm gonna start Summer in the City. Okay guys, it is almost 1 p.m. and it's been a few hours since the timer has went off, and I actually ended up finishing Summer in the City about an hour before the timer went off, and since there was only an hour left, I literally just went for a walk. So with that being said, the 24 hours is finished. Let's talk about all of the books that I read in the past 24 hours. I read 4 books this 24 hours, and honestly I had a really good time with every single one of them. First, going to start off with the book that I finished first technically, which is The Let Them Theory. Now The Let Them Theory, this one was self-help, so obviously, as I said, I'm not going to give this one a rating. If this idea is something that you feel like your brain could really work with the idea of like, let people do things and let me focus on my emotions and how I react to things and the type of person I am. And the book kind of breaks down like different scenarios and different things to do to kind of live up to that and how that can help aid your life. So if you feel like that's something that can really help you, I would definitely recommend this one. In my personal opinion, I just don't feel like everybody can pick up a self-help book and it will really apply to their life. But this is one that I feel like if you can kind of heal to your brain in the way you think, then I would definitely say pick it up. Wild Dark Shore. This is a book that I had seen, and I really don't even know what like made me really want to pick it up, and I literally started off with this book. Like, we started the video with me reading this, and I will say, if we were to give a medal for my favorite read of the video, it would definitely go to Wild Dark Shore, because even through the past 24 hours, like reading other books, I just kept going back thinking about this book. And it's not a book that I necessarily, like, if I knew 100%, like if somebody told me like 100% of a kind of vague what happens, what's talked about throughout the book, I would probably be like, yeah, I think I'm gonna skip out on this one. However, this book really spoke to me, and it was through the characters and just how deeply individual every single one of them were, and how that adds up to them as characters, how it adds up to the story and the plot, the mystery the mystery of it all. This is definitely like a mystery suspense book. I really enjoyed it. I will say this, it is slow, so don't go into it thinking like, oh, it's going to be a fast-paced book. It is definitely slow, but it is so beautiful within the descriptions of the nature around them and of the island around them and of different scientific elements of the book. And also every single character is layered and very much themselves in such a unique character. And also the mystery, like while you are reading these mundane things that are going on in the book, you feel this undertone of almost this like anxiety of what one of the main characters is also feeling throughout the whole entire book. It makes a lot of sense, and I feel like it's such a good read, and it's so deeply emotional out of nowhere. Like, I did not expect that to be that emotional. So definitely my favorite read of the whole entire video goes to Wild Dark Shore. And I needed a palette cleanser, so I picked up Delicate Escape. I gave this one a 3 stars. Honestly, this is my second book in this series, and I really enjoy it, but it's like I told you guys last night when I was reading, I was just kind of like, these books are so funny to me in a way because they're so, even though there's this mysterious element going on to them, like when you read the dialogue between the two characters and like how they interact with each other and even like things that they're thinking in their inner monologue, it's just so silly. Like I literally picked up another romance book to end off this video, and the distinct difference between the two of them within like inner monologue and just how they speak in conversations, like this one feels more outlandish. And I know that we've all read romance books where it's like, this just feels like I said, the equivalent of like dialogue that you see in like a Lifetime or Hallmark movie, where it's definitely different than like something else that you're seeing. I just find them so enjoyable. Like they help me. Again, I needed a palette cleanser after Wild Dark Shore because the book was a little dark, as the name suggests. And I really enjoyed it. Definitely uplifted me, and it made me kind of in a romance mood. So that's the thing. With the Sparrow Falls series, I have a good time reading them. I'm entertained the whole entire time, and really I'm guessing how it's going to play out in the most cliche way possible, because you also know that that is going to happen. And then the last book for this video, I have Summer in the City. Now, I will say, at first, I didn't know how to feel about this book. I ended up giving it a 3.5 star. For a while there, I thought I was gonna give it a 4 star, but y'all, the main character in this book took me out of it a little bit because there are so many things I could go into and say. I feel like I understood a part of what our character was trying to say because she's been raised a certain way, and I kind of feel like I wish we would have seen her kind of come to terms with more of the fact that how she was raised that wasn't particularly the most healthy, to put that mindset and kind of that narrative on a young child and like the way that kind of affects her growing up. And because of that, the way she treats Parker, our MMC, she just really took me out of it a lot of times because I feel like Parker was doing things that were his love language. It's such a hard situation because I genuinely feel like from my reading, Parker was doing things that were within his love language to show that he cared about her, even if it felt like very over the top. He's literally a billionaire, by the way. This is a billionaire romance. So you know it's gonna be over the top and crazy. And it's like, he was doing that because that was his way. And he would also do things to figure out like her way, but he would also be showing love and affection in his different way. And she would shut him down. There is one specific scene, well, two that I'm thinking of, but one specific scene towards like the 80% mark in the book that I genuinely turned off my Kindle for a second because I was like, I cannot believe this, because first of all, something happens and then I'm like, okay, this is crazy. Like, I feel like we're moving a little fast. And then all of a sudden, she literally, like, she would get so angry at an act of kindness that he was showing towards her. And like I said, you understand where she is coming from, or more so why she's having this reaction. But it's like she never gave the poor guy a chance to even like speak and explain things to her, and she just automatically would get angry. And like even the basis of why, because it's like marketed, I think this book is marketed as like enemies to lovers, the base of why she does not like him is literally so like, I don't even know, like she, like there's even a point where it's just kind of like you realize how stupid it is. If she would not have done a few of the things that she did, where I just feel like he was doing things and she was just kind of like constantly shutting him down. Like he would kind of put himself out there and then she was just kind of like cutting him down 24/7 and being rude, which again, it's explained why she has this behavior, but it's like that doesn't mean that that's an appropriate way to treat somebody. There were multiple things that I feel like he did in the book to be very like kind, loving, honest and everything with her, and sacrifices that he makes up. Like he is so down bad. It sucks because I really enjoyed their banter and conversation. I enjoyed the New York setting because y'all know I love a good book set in New York, and it felt like a love letter to the city because there were so many different places and I could imagine it so well in my head, and it just had the recipe for like such a good book. She just took me out of it. I liked everything else about the book. Like I said, I liked their conversation. I liked the little like galas and events they would go to and like the little touches of everything that would happen. And I was just like, she was really taking me out of it. I did not, in ways I did enjoy her as a main character, but then there were other ways that I really didn't. 3.5 stars. I thought it was going to be a 4 or above for such a long time in the book. And then I was like, as a closing thought, sometimes I feel like I get a little bit out of them. And there have been, if you go back, which, but if you watch other 24-hour readathons that I've done, I've even like went back in wrap-ups or everything, and I've been like, man, I don't know how I would have felt about this book though, like if I wasn't reading it at like 3 a.m. and if I wasn't reading it when I no longer wanted to read anymore because I'd been reading for 24 hours already. So that's a big reason why I stopped with that, like, let me stay up all night and let me whatever, because I feel like in a way it takes away from the book. So the way that I completed this one, I feel like every book had its justice. I feel good about it and I feel good about the rating. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I don't know the next time I'll do one of these because honestly, I told myself after doing a bunch of them, I was like, I'm just going to do them if I feel like it and it's going to be in a chill way. And that's what I did yesterday. I had such a fun time and such a good time that I just want to continue reading on into the weekend. So another reading vlog coming near you soon because I'm in a very big reading mood. It's really all I want to sit and do. But first I'm going to edit this video. So if you guys enjoyed, you guys know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff you guys know how to do. I always have everything linked down below. All of that good stuff, okay? I'm forgetting. I'm out of breath. I'll see you when I see you. Peace.